Hello, welcome back, Light Up Literature family. Today, we are going to be talking about civil rights and how to teach it in the middle school arena without having like crazy debates or emotional overwhelm. So, first things first, it is super important that we focus on our African American literary and poetic leaders in this field. They're so amazing, but it can feel complicated, and we definitely want to honor these powerful historic voices, and we want to make sure it's academically focused, of course, but we don't want our classroom turning into an emotional, or our homeschool hub or room turning into an emotional a debate with no structure and no power and no control. So here's the good news. This topic is one of the strongest ways we can teach ELA skills when it's structured intentionally. So let me show you what that actually looks like so you don't have to be stressed and worried, because that's only natural. So the problem isn't about our historical figures. The problem is unstructured instruction. Say that 3 times fast. Wow. So when lessons become discussion-based first before we actually think about the skills, things can get unstable super quick, especially in middle school. They're already going through so many emotions, and we really have to make sure that we keep it reined in. So we need to use like a repeatable process that makes it easy for you to teach, and it lets all of them know, especially your ADHD kiddos or neurodivergent kiddos, the structure. So everyone learns the system so that you can have a meaningful environment that helps expand and learn. So we need our predictable steps. And once we do that and we anchor in our standards, everything becomes so much easier. And oh my goodness, in middle school, we need that anyway, right? Preach. All right. So here are some great people you can use that will help you deliver this. So one of the amazing African American voices we can use is Maya Angelou. Her poetry, and when we're talking about poetry, she has a model. You can use her for modeled repetition. Her repetition builds tone. Her tone strengthens the theme, especially in Still I Rise. It's an excellent piece that you can use. Another amazing African American artist in this area is Langston Hughes. He has so many great pieces, from short stories to poetry. Amazing. His poetry blends everyday language with layered symbolism, and he uses strong imagery, historical tone. It's accessible, but it's still deep, especially if you have a wide range in your classroom. He can really reach both areas, from I'm just getting it to I want to dig deeper, for our GT kiddos who are like, this is so easy. I've already listened to this one before. Check the other post. I promise you it'll help. All right. And then we have amazing Rosa Parks. She is just one of the amazing figures who worked with the boycott, bus boycott. And she provides strong nonfiction structure with strong central idea, cause and effect, chronological sequencing, all of this that we can use in nonfiction, literature, and poetry. Those go hand in hand. You can use them for both. And of course, we have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., amazing, using rhetorical devices, parallel structure. He uses persuasive tone. So if you're working on persuasive essays, he is your guy in this area. And he uses repetition very strategically, which is very unique. It's not just to hit that check mark. He uses it for purpose. And that's something where everyone can work on the same piece, and you can take our gifted kiddos extra and further, and you can make sure that all our kiddos are in the right zone. So these are great anchor texts. You don't have to use them. These are some of the ones that I like to use because they work so well. Now, here's a 4-step framework on how it works. Step 1, start with short informational text. Build the background knowledge first. Keep it short and keep it focused. We're not trying to give them a dissertation on anything. We need it short and focused so that the students understand the central idea, the tone relating to the phrases, and write maybe like one sentence on author's perspective. That's it. Remember, key to all kiddos, especially your ADHD kiddos, is the chunking method. That way, there's not this overwhelm of information and expectations. Our next part is just modeling. It's don't ask students, what does this poem mean? Because that can be a lot, and that's a lot of emotion. And let's face it, our middle school kiddos, they're already feeling a lot of emotion. So we need to really bring it down to them and let's model it out. So I know this repetition in this line, or that repetition creates this kind of tone, or that confident tone supports a theme about resilience or struggle, overcoming adversity. You have so many options that you can use the same simple structure for any type of poetry. And that's, I'm not a poetry lover. So for me, that's like a solid win. All right, using concrete analysis formula. Now, this is super easy to use and it takes all the feelings out of it. And this is going to help your neurodivergent kiddos and just kiddos who feel uncomfortable, feeling odd man out, or just they don't love poetry. And I totally get it. So first things first, number 1, we want to identify the subject. 2, what is either being celebrated or argued? Where is our conflict? 3, we just want to pick 2 words, just 2, that identify a tone. Remember, tone is that, don't take that tone with me. You know you heard that from your mama or your grandmama. And then you want to look at, for number 4, you want to look at one figurative or rhetorical device. And remember, you're going to balance these with different grade levels. You don't want to throw this all out on a 6th grader, but at 8th grade, they should probably know these things. And you still might need to help them, and that's okay. Write one evidence-based theme statement. That's not too bad. 1, keep it short and simple. Poetry becomes predictable instead of mysterious. If you can pull evidence, it's not about feeling anymore, and that takes away a lot of insecurity. And students feel safer when the expectations are clear. So I highly recommend anchor chart on your classroom wall, or on, if you're going to do poetry for the day or for that week, if that's your theme, then have it on the whiteboard so that it's always there, and do some glue and paste notes into their interactive notebook. That way there's some activity that will definitely help you with your ADHD kiddos and your neurodivergence, because they need that motion, that activity, especially when poetry can feel very overwhelming. So our step 4 is transitioning, and this is a tough transition for some, transitioning into structured writing. So don't assign an open-ended free writing. That can cause paralysis for so many students. So what we do want to do is provide structure. Ask students to choose one person or one group, state what makes them strong, use repetition intentionally, and include one image or a metaphor, and end with a clear message. That is super condensed, and it makes their life easier. They know exactly what steps, and as they build more confidence, they are naturally going to want to like show off, especially in middle school. They want to be like, I did it the best, and you want to encourage that, because that's what success looks like in a classroom, in a real classroom with real learning. So you might want to provide some sentence stems. I'm a huge proponent for sentence stems. I celebrate even when we rise, because things like that strengthens their voice, but gives them something to bounce off of, especially so for your kiddos who are like, I'm not doing this, then you say, all right, just fill in the blank. you will eventually build past that. For the ones who are already there, be like, okay, make mine better. Challenge, invite that challenge, because that is going to, kiddos in middle school love a challenge. And if you have ADHD or neurodivergent kiddos, they definitely want to be too. It's just natural, and it's a healthy competition, so there's nothing wrong with it. Now, why this works for ADHD learners, as I've kind of layered through, it's predictable. It's short chunks. You're not like saying, here's everything, here's your worksheet, get to it, go. It's clear modeling, so it reduces that anxiety. And that's not just for ADHD kiddos, it's for everybody. It defines the expectations and improves follow through because there's no guesswork. And poetry becomes manageable when it has very strict boundaries that aren't based on feelings. All right, so your standards you really want to focus on, they're going to be theme, tone, word choice, central idea, text structure, and writing with evidence. This isn't something, this is something you can do seasonally, but you don't have to. It's very academically structured, so you can use it at any point, but it also gives you the tools you need to support your kiddos. So whether you're at home at the kitchen table or you're in a classroom of 30 plus, you've got some solid responses, solid things. If you want more information and more support, check out lightupLiterature.com with the blogs. This past week, we've got blogs on poetry and all kinds of other things that will help you build lessons and support all of your kiddos. So if you have any questions, definitely send me a message, Debra at lightupLiterature.com. And until the next video, I will see you then. All right. Stay safe and happy. Bye.